Welcome back to the program. So first and foremost, just wanted to say I have put about 33 of the all-time greatest hits in the all-time greatest hits section on my Substack there. Okay, so check it out. I got to letter S and there's already 33. So you could imagine how many are coming and how long it's going to take. So please check it out. Tell your friends, people that are not subscribed, they can subscribe and get free memberships for a while and join later. So let's grow this thing together. But I wanted to kind of take some time and kind of like talk about an observation. And I think it's a really important observation. You know, many countries around the world, Mexico almost comes to mind immediately. Their governments are basically being run by drug cartels. You also have drug cartels and cartel members in Venezuela's government. You have drug cartels and gang members that are in Cuba's government. And thank God, we don't have that yet here in America. My observation is the fact that if, God forbid, President Trump did not win this last election, we were headed towards Mexico. We were headed towards Venezuela. And how do we know that? I mean, it's not just an opinion that I just, plucked out of the air. We can see it. We can see it with the fact that these judges are protecting illegal aliens. These judges are having ties and affiliations with actual gang members. And so these politicians that we have are either getting paid money from these drug cartels or they fear for their own lives. So if, God forbid, Trump didn't win, in 4 years' time, with as much illegal activity and illegal aliens coming into the country, unvetted, unabetted, guess what? We'd be like Mexico. We would have a government in Washington controlled by the drug cartels to the point where they would be making decisions based on what the drug cartels tell them. You'd have a situation like in Mexico when a politician is running for office. If they say they're going to crack down on the drug cartels, or if they say that they're going to be, anti-trafficking or anti-drugs or whatever, they end up being beheaded, okay? That's what happens to them. Mexico has lost hundreds of politicians in the last 5, 6, 7 years to gang violence and people going after them because they tried to do the right thing and straighten things out in Mexico. So if we didn't have President Trump, I can assure you within 4 years, 5 years, 6 years time, with the amount of immigration coming into the country, forget it. We would have been Mexico 2.0, and it would have happened pretty quick. And the other reason that we know that is because we now have people that are in positions of power that honestly can't really be trusted. We have judges in positions of power. They cannot be trusted. We have some police officers and law enforcement officials in places of power. They can't be trusted. We have seen now possibly military and ex-military officials that are helping hide drug dealers and gang members. Thank God President Trump is our president, and thank God he is cleaning up this country as best he can, despite these radical, extreme activist judges getting in his way. So what I want to do is I want to discuss kind of what happened. Obviously, you know about the nightclub. You've heard it from other news sources and everything else. I'm not here to tell you something that you've already heard. I'm here to kind of give you the story, maybe give you a couple more details, but more importantly, a reason why this is so important and what has been happening. So what I'm going to do is discuss that. So apparently there was over 114 right now, counting, illegal aliens that were raided, and this was the nightclub. It was like an underground nightclub. There's actually video of the police busting down the door to this place, and then apparently it's downstairs and kind of like underground, and there was like 200 people down there. So here's kind of what we're hearing about this. Rocky Mountain drug enforcement agents and other federal agencies executed a raid on a Colorado Springs nightclub early on Sunday morning, seizing drugs and weapons and arresting about 114 illegal aliens. Now, what I find interesting is that, yes, this was a Trump deportation raid. Yes, this was something that the Colorado law enforcement officials were working on for as long as 5 or 6 months. They were tipped off about this a long time ago. This was a location where drug dealers and drug cartel members were literally using, this nightclub as cover to do their deeds in Colorado and in elsewhere. And what I find really interesting, and maybe you know this, maybe you don't, this was not just a joint effort of local sheriffs, local police in Colorado Springs, the Drug Enforcement Agency, the FBI, of course, other branches, ICE, of course, we can't forget them. But there was also, believe it or not, the IRS was involved in this, and the U.S. Postal Service. So President Trump is using all of these resources, not just ICE, not just the FBI. He's using the IRS. He's using, the U.S. Postal Service. He's using all these different entities to go after these drug dealers and these criminal illegal aliens. Pretty interesting stuff. So let's see. According to the DEA Field Division, Jonathan Pullen shared a press conference on this investigation into the nightclub that had been going on for several months, and that they had uncovered evidence of drug trafficking, of prostitution, along with, of course, TDA gang members, Venezuelan Trendeagua gang members, MS-13 gang members. Gee, I wonder if, what's his name? Kilmore Burritos Garcia was ever there. Maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. And then, let's see, they also estimate that over 200 people, some of whom had outstanding arrest warrants. So they arrested 114 illegal aliens, and then there was an additional arrest of others that were arrested for outstanding warrants as well. They were in the nightclub during the raid, and then it says over 114 were taken into custody by ICE. Pullen told reporters that over 10 federal agencies and local police agencies assisted with the operation. We actually have a few other operations pending right now. This is according to Detective Pullen, across the city, and we are waiting to determine if there will be other arrests from those as well. And then there's a bunch of different footage. Maybe I'll do for the thumbnail, I'll give you some pictures of it. And then it basically says the weird part about this is that not only did they find all of these drug dealers and prostitution and all these other things, but they also found that there were military people that were working in this. Yeah, let me see if I can find the story here. In the raid. I mean, you don't think that would be the case, but apparently it was. And that's what's pretty scary, and that's why I said these people cannot be trusted, that are supposed to be watching over us. They're supposed to be the arbiters of our safety, and you've got judges and everything else doing all this crazy stuff. So let's see, right here. Here it is. Some active duty service members, imagine that, active duty service members were detained as part of this drug enforcement operation at the underground nightclub in Colorado Springs. Some active duty military service members were among those detained during the large-scale federal law enforcement operation Sunday morning at the underground nightclub in Colorado Springs. more than 300 law enforcement officers from at least 10 federal agencies, including, again, the DEA, FBI, Homeland Security, were involved in the operation. And then it says more than a dozen active duty service members were at the underground nightclub, either as patrons or working as security. The Army confirmed that service members from its base in Fort Carson were present. However, they will not say how many service members were actually involved. The United States Army Criminal Investigation Division released the following statement. Army CID is aware of this matter and is currently conducting a joint investigation with the Drug Enforcement Administration, which is the lead agency. As this is an ongoing investigation, we are unable to provide additional information at this time. Pullen said that gang members, including TDA and all that, okay, so we went through all that. But this is really, really crazy. The owner of the building, Mike Moon, expressed shock after learning that his property was allegedly being used as an illegal nightclub. I've never seen a lot of trash in the parking lots to even suspect that anything like an after-hours nightclub is going on, so it's pretty shocking, he said. Really? You have a nightclub and you don't know that there's people in your nightclub? Come on. We weren't born yesterday. In a statement, Colorado Springs Mayor Yemi, I can't even pronounce the last name, Mobilati, I think, thanked law enforcement and said criminal activity will not be tolerated. Oh, really? Aren't you the ones in Colorado that allowed apartment buildings to be taken over? Let me be clear. She gives a statement, yada, yada, yada. But so the question now is, why are there active military members, number one, in the club, knowing what's going on in that club, knowing that it's an underground club, which means that it's probably not regulated. They don't know what's going on. It's a secret club, right? And the other thing is if they're there, why are they with gang members? Why are they helping gang members? Why are they running security for drug cartel members? That's pretty frightening information that has come out of this. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully Trump's administration and, of course, Secretary Hegseth does a deep dive investigation into this and finds out what the hell is going on and why are there active members of the military in an underground club at wee hours of the morning with prostitutes and gang members. Okay? That's a question that needs to be answered. And we'll see. Hopefully those answers will come. Those are my thoughts. What are yours? Put them down in the comments below. We'll see you in the next one.